Good morning, students, and welcome to class of Elga 14. Today, we will be covering our next chapter in Unit 1, which is Fundamental Rights. Fundamental Rights and Duties, in which we are trying to know about my rights and my duties. In this, we covered our first chapter, Dabki School, in the last lecture, and today we are going to read our new chapter, Chaskit Goes to School. First of all, let me tell you, this story is about a small girl, Chaskit, who is differently abled. She can't move with her own legs, and this is the story, this is the journey of how from her childhood she has never been to school, and at the age of 9 how she goes to school. Let's start reading our chapter. Chaskit woke up early in the morning. It was a special day and she was very excited. Chaskit lived in a small village in Ladakh. Ladakh is a place in North India, students, and she lived in a small village in Ladakh. She was born with legs that did not work like everyone else's. So she used a wheelchair to move around. She is a small girl who is very excited usually in the mornings. She lives in a small village and she was born with legs. She had legs but they did not work. So she had to move with a wheelchair. She would often take her wheelchair near the bus stand. From here, she would watch children returning from school, chattering and laughing merrily in groups. This shows that she wanted to go to school but she never could. She never had the chance. क्या करती थी वो? बस स्टैंड पे जाके बैठी रहती थी अपनी व्हीलचेयर पे, and she used to watch children who were returning from school. They were chit chatting and laughing, and they were in groups. She used to enjoy that. One evening when Chaskit was sitting outside the house with her grandfather, a young boy came up to her. My name is Abdul, he said, turning to Chaskit. I study in class 6 at the government school. I have often wondered why you don't come to school, asked Abdul. एक young छोटा सा boy, बच्चा उसके पास आता है when she is sitting outside the house, and he asks कि मैं क्लास 6 में पढ़ता हूँ गवर्नमेंट स्कूल में, और आई हैव ऑफन वंडर्ड, मैं हमेशा सोचता हूँ कि तुम स्कूल क्यों नहीं आती. Then she replies, the path to the school is too uneven and pebbly. Pebbly क्या होता है? Pebbly is stony. Pebbly is जहाँ पे we will read it in our difficult words also, जहाँ पे बहुत सारे पत्थर छोटे छोटे and uneven होता है जो रोड, जहाँ पे चलना difficult होता है. So my wheelchair can get stuck there. Also, I cannot cross the little stream in front of the school. So she tells in reply that I can't come to school because the road is uneven and pebbly. So my wheelchair can get stuck there. तो मैं अपने आप वहाँ नहीं आ सकती. Also, मैं रोड भी वहाँ पे क्रॉस नहीं कर सकती जो स्कूल के सामने वाली है. But would you like to come to school? asked Abdul. Of course, replied Chaskit. अब्दुल ने पूछा, पर क्या तुम स्कूल आना चाहती हो? Then she said, of course, I want to study like all of you, make friends, play games, wear a uniform and even write exams. वो ये सब बोल रही होती है, whatever she wants, she starts dreaming कि मुझे ये भी करना है, वो भी करना है, यूनिफॉर्म पहनना है, एग्ज़ाम्स देने हैं. Enough, interrupted her grandfather. Interrupt करना मतलब बीच में बोल देना, रोक देना बीच में बात को. Her grandfather मेमले उनका नाम है. Stop dreaming, Chaskit. You know you cannot go to school. I have told you many times, said Memle. Okay, Chaskit, I will see you again. I must go now, said Abdul and took her leave. Right? The next day, Abdul went straight to the principal's room after assembly. I want to talk to you about a girl from our village who does not go to school. Her name is Chaskit, said Abdul. Oh, yes, I know her, replied the principal. She cannot reach school on her wheelchair as the path from her home is too rough and uneven. Now, principal also knew about her. He said, oh, yes, I know her, but she cannot come to school because the path on the road is uneven. I was wondering if we could do anything to help her, said Abdul. अब्दुल ने कहा, I was wondering if हम कुछ कर सकते हैं उसे हेल्प करने के लिए. That's very thoughtful of you, Abdul, said the principal as he patted him on the back. Thoughtful यानी thoughtful means कि बहुत अच्छी सोच है ये तुम्हारी. He wanted to say that that's very thoughtful of you. तुमने बहुत अच्छा सोचा. And he patted him on the back. Pat करना मतलब शाबाशी देना. Then he asks, what made you think of Chaskit and her problems? Asked the principal. Last week, we read about the fundamental rights of citizens in our class. All children have the right to education. That includes Chaskit as well, does it not? Asked Abdul. Yes, you're right, Abdul. Let me discuss this with other teachers, replied the principal. Principal sir ने पूछा कि तुम्हें चस्कित की प्रॉब्लम्स की सोच कैसे आई? तो अब्दुल रिप्लाइड कि लास्ट वीक हमने फंडामेंटल राइट्स ऑफ सिटीजन्स पढ़ा था क्लास में, एंड दैट्स वाई आई रियलाइज्ड कि चस्कित को भी स्कूल में आने का राइट है. ऑल राइट गाइज, फंडामेंटल राइट्स वी ऑल डिस्कस्ड अर्लियर ऑल्सो. फंडामेंटल राइट्स कौन से राइट्स होते हैं? बेसिक राइट्स जो हर ह्यूमन बीइंग को कंट्री के अंदर होते हैं. The next day, the principal called all the teachers to a meeting. He shared Abdul's ideas with the group and asked the teachers how they felt. Next day, principal sir ने एक मीटिंग बुलाई टीचर्स की और उन्होंने अब्दुल के आइडियाज़ शेयर किए. एंड टीचर से पूछा कि आपकी क्या राय है, आपकी क्या सजेशन है. Impossible, said one of them. How will she be able to write, play, and go to the toilet like the other children do? That's exactly what we have to work out, said the principal. First, we will have to get Chaskit to school. Then we could think of ways helping her to do things in school. यही तो हमें वर्कआउट करना है, प्रिंसिपल सर ने बोला. हमें यही तो वर्कआउट करना है कि how she will go to school, and then how will she do everything that other people do in school, right? So that's 2 weeks later. There was great excitement at the government school. All the children had gathered outside the playground. Now finally they decided that they will help Chaskit to come to school. So after 2 weeks there was a great excitement at the government school. स्कूल में बहुत excitement थी, and all the children were gathering outside the playground. The teachers divided them into groups. One group worked in front of Chaskit's house and another on the path along the stream. A third group with some of the older children worked hard to help some of their teachers build a strong wooden bridge across the stream. Now all the school members were divided into 3 groups. एक ग्रुप चस्कित के हाउस के आगे काम कर रहा था और एक पाथ बना रहा था comfortably so that she can come through her wheelchair comfortably to the school. And another group was working on the path. First group was working in the front of house, another group was working on the path, and third group was जहाँ जिसमें थोड़े ओल्ड बच्चे थे, बड़े बच्चे थे, they worked hard to help some of their teachers build a strong wooden bridge across the stream. एक ब्रिज बनाने में हेल्प कर रहे थे वुडन, ताकि वो स्ट्रीम को क्रॉस कर सके जहाँ से उससे पहले प्रॉब्लम हो रही थी. The children laughed and sang as they removed stones and rocks, leveled paths and carried wooden planks to the stream. तो स्टूडेंट्स वहाँ पे हंस रहे थे, खुश हो रहे थे और चस्कित के लिए रास्ता बना रहे थे. पाथ को लेवल कर रहे थे, मतलब उसको पाथ को सीधा करना, लेवल करना, और ऊपर अनलेवल था ना पहले, अब उसको लेवल कर रहे थे. एंड कैरिड वुडन प्लैंक्स टू द स्ट्रीम, और ब्रिज बनाने के लिए प्लैंक्स उठा के जा रहे थे. प्लैंक्स क्या होते हैं? फ्लैट पीसेज ऑफ वुड, राइट? वी विल रीड इन द डिफ़िकल्ट वर्ड्स ऑल्सो. द प्रिंसिपल वेंट फ्रॉम वन ग्रुप टू अनदर, मेकिंग श्योर दैट ऑल वेंट अकॉर्डिंग टू प्लान. प्रिंसिपल सर राउंड्स लगा रहे थे कि सब ग्रुप्स ठीक से काम कर रहे हैं. एट द एंड ऑफ द डे द चिल्ड्रन वर टायर्ड बट हैप्पी. द पाथ फ्रॉम चस्किट्स होम टू द स्कूल वॉज नाउ रेडी. दिन के एंड में चिल्ड्रन वर वेरी हैप्पी बिकॉज चस्किट्स के होम का स्कूल से रास्ता बिल्कुल रेडी हो गया था. Chaskit was going to school for the first time in 9 years, and that's why she was very excited. See how all students met and worked together to help her to come to school. So this is what the story wants to tell us, students. We have a national book called the Constitution of India, which contains all ideas, rules, promises and duties agreed to by the people of our country. हमारी एक बहुत फेमस नेशनल बुक है कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया. उसके अंदर वो सारी प्रोमिसेस एंड ड्यूटीज़ हैं जो सब पीपल, सब लोगों के लिए लिखी गई हैं. दिस इज़ द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट बुक इन आवर कंट्री. आवर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन मेंशन्स सम राइट्स विच ईच पर्सन इन द कंट्री शुड हैव टू लिव अ हैप्पी लाइफ. These rights are called the fundamental rights. Okay students, I hope the chapter is clear now. We have to do the question answers from the workbook, and I will just let you go through the difficult words of the chapter. First is pebbly, जो हमने पढ़ा था, full of pebbles, जहाँ छोटे छोटे stones होते हैं और rocks होते हैं. For example, the shore at the beach was pebbly. Second word was interrupted, जहाँ कहीं बीच में रोक देते हैं हम बात को. Stop someone midway by saying or doing something. For example, Fazan interrupted the teacher while she was talking to the principal. Third word was thoughtful. Thoughtful मतलब thinking about the needs of others, किसी के बारे में सोचना. Thank you for calling when I was ill. It was very thoughtful of you. Understood? And the last word was, here only we read planks. Long, narrow, flat pieces of wood used to make bridges or floors. We used planks to cover the big hole on the ground outside our school. Okay, wood के pieces होते हैं flat, जो हम bridges या floor बनाने में use करते हैं. So here we end our second chapter, Chaskit goes to school. Hope you loved learning the chapter. Happy learning students. We'll see you with another chapter.